Hi Goldies! In this episode this time, I'm going to be interviewed by Sean and we will talk about my hobby, which is action figure collection. So over to you, Sean.
Great. So for the past couple episodes, you've been talking to a lot of other people about what they do, what their hobbies are, what their interest is, especially for people who's getting ready to be retired or even people who's already retired. So now let's bring it over to you. So you're someone who you would say that you're about to be retired very soon?
Well, I hope not very soon, but I'm preparing myself, so probably in, 10, 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I guess being someone who's about that age, 10 to 15 years from retiring, you must have your hobbies of your own, similar to the other people you've interviewed. So I see in front of us today, you've brought us several of your toys, from the Marvel toys like Spider-Man and Iron Man to these other toys that I don't really know that much about.
They're pre your birthday.
Might show a bit of your age there.
You didn't exist when those things were popular. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask you. So as kids, we've always liked to play with these kind of toys, right? I've had figurines before. I've had toy cars before that I've played around, just roll around the house or, imagine what they could be with it.
Okay.
What makes it different to what we have here in front of us today?
Okay, first things first. I would be very careful that if I call these toys, then my children will start getting their hands on these things. So I try to call them like collectibles. So these are actually not toys as such, because they're really, really carefully designed, carefully crafted, and it's meant to be for collection and displayed on a dust-proof, temperature-controlled environment cabinet. Yeah. And to answer your question, I don't lift this. I don't lift them up and then start flying them around or anything like that. But it's more about having the aesthetic part of it in my house, in a cabinet somewhere. That's pretty much what it's all about.
I see. So you would say that these toys here, it differs from the ones that I mentioned before, because this has more of a purpose of just being there as a display.
Correct.
So is that the reason why you enjoy having these toys or collecting these specific toys?
Well, there's probably not one answer to that. I've grown up in an environment where I remember, when I was little, my dad took me to a lot of movies. So I'm a moviegoer, and I've always also enjoyed watching. Well, this was back in the 80s, Japanese anime, which is different from the anime that you guys have today. It looks really ugly, but it was a big thing back then. It was a big thing, and there were also merchandises that came along with these movies, right? But they can be quite expensive back then. So I couldn't afford it. Well, one is we as a family, we couldn't afford it. And number two, it was not easy to get. Right. Because many of these things used to be made in Japan. So the moment that these things came about, they came out in the market. These things you cannot just go. It's very rarely possible that you go to a shop and buy. You have to do a so-called pre-order. Okay. So you pre-order, and then usually it takes about 6 months before you can actually get your hands on one of these things. So to answer your question, it was more about getting memorabilia, if I can call it that way. After I watched the movie, I liked the movie. I get my hands on one of those
toys,
action figures, not toys, action figures, and I bring them home.
All right. But if it's quite difficult to get, for example, you said before that a lot of these action figures, collectibles, you had to do some sort of pre-order or some sort of process to get it. Why is it that you try so hard to get these specific toys? Well, I'm sure that they're are a lot of toys that are very similar to this that you can just get off the shelf.
Yeah. So let's, for example, the Iron Man series, right? I mean, you can go to Target or Kmart, right? And you'll find Iron Man, which is probably, I don't know, $12-15, yeah? Now, the reason why I've chosen these ones are because they have, I mean, I can show you some of these things. They have very good articulation, so you can you can post them in a certain way, which I do, by the way. You know, maybe once or twice a year, I would clean the cabinet, you know, dust them off, and then because I think it's probably a good idea to repost them, like, you know, facing that way, and then now let's face it that way, and all that. And then sometimes I also change the accessories. So, for example, like these, I think these things will come off, or I can point it in a different way. I can use different sort of weapons, many things. So it's the articulation, it's about the accessories. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. They come from a company called Hot Toys, out of Hong Kong. When they came out the first time, it was quite unique. So I don't collect everything. I only see one that I like. I mean, I've seen on YouTube or somewhere where, you know, whatever there's a new one, they just collect buy.
Of course.
I don't do that. I only select certain characters. I don't collect the villains. I only collect the good guys, the superheroes. So those are the drivers behind why I've selected these collectibles.
Right. And you said with how toys are going now and the newer and the older toys, you said that the quality might not be the same, or the quality or how it really is made isn't just how it used to be. Well, how it used to be mixed.
No, it's true. It's true. So I remember that I actually had one when I was little, a Bandai, a Japanese robot. My dad bought me that, and it was all die cast. It was very heavy, and again at that time I wasn't supposed to be, you know, playing around with it. So now it's like all over the place, you know, pieces are missing. Then they produced a new version, and it's completely different. It's made out of, some of them are made of resin, or even sometimes plastic. Or so definitely there has been the design. It's probably better, but the quality, I think I wouldn't say it's not as good, but I would say it's different. There is a compromise there in the quality.
I mean, we could just see it from these two toys right here, right? I mean, sorry.
Yeah, those are the Mazinja, Japanese Mazinja. You can feel the weight, right?
Yeah.
This is all die cast. Yeah.
I mean, it's very visible how, I mean, the toys look very similar in terms of the character. I'm not sure if it's the same character or not. Is it the same character?
It's the same character, but it's a different evolution. So there's like different versions of it.
And you could tell by this one. I could tell it's just much older than how this one is, by how the metal here is fading and how this one is still perfectly red, and it just really shows the age. And I guess it does make sense on the fact that you said about the quality differences and probably what material differences that it has between each other.
Yeah.
So
if you're talking about this, it's not really about the quality, but because it's really old. This one was like from 2002.
Oh, okay.
So
before I was born. Yep.
Before you were born, yes. This one came about maybe five years later, and you also got to remember that the storage is also quite important.
Yeah.
So in a place where the humidity is quite high, then some of the paint can actually you can lose the color.
All right.
And it makes it makes it a bit worn out. Yeah, it looks like it's worn out, but you can feel that this is actually quite heavy. It's all metal. If you look at the ones like these ones, these are actually coming from the same manufacturer, from Bandai as well. And just have a feel.
Right. Oh, it's much lighter. It's like
lighter,
plastic,
right?
isn't it?
It's plastic.
Oh, okay.
But if you look at the detail of the design, like you need what do you call it? The attention to detail. It's still
there.
Really good, but it's just made of different material.
I see.
Yeah.
To go back to this one, right? It's old. I mean,
Thank you for reminding me that it's old.
It's from 2002, right? things that is quite old like this, the one you've kept for such a long time. I'm sure that with toys quite old, it must bring some sort of value sentimentally or even a sense of memories being attached to it. So would you say with the toys you have here, is there a reason why you have kept it so long? If you had the chance to sell it for such a much higher price, for example, why do you still keep it? Does it?
Good question.
Is there a reason why? Is it a sentimental value or what is it?
Well, I'm probably the odd one out here because I don't actually collect these things to resell. I mean, there was a time when I started doing this, and I still remember the seller said that, Donny, you should get 2 of them and keep one in the box. Don't open it, and then in 10 years time it'll be worth a lot of money.
Yep.
And I don't know. I bought these things so that I could put them on my cabinet.
Yeah.
And I get satisfaction from looking at it, the colors, the attention to detail and all that. So number one, it has never been about investing. It's not about investing in these things and then even though if somebody comes to me now and say, hey, Donny, I want to grab this for like, I don't know, $5,000 or whatever, I wouldn't give it away. And if you ask me about sentimental value, like this buddy little here, this is called God Sigma.
All right.
And I grew up watching this on TV or on videotape. I don't know if you know what videotape is.
Videotape.
Yeah. And then this thing here is a Voltus 5. This, I think people who were born around the same year or same generation as I am would know this. I've got another 3 in the cabinet.
All right.
So there is a sentimental value because when I looked at this, I remember growing up with these things. And then I think this buddy here, which is the Mark II, is the first Hot Toys that I've actually managed to get hold of. And it was so difficult that I actually had to get my friend in Hong Kong, if he's watching, thank you. I actually had to get help from him to queue up and get one item.
Right.
So it was that difficult to get. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you would say that there's quite a sentimental value of it. So I know that you have quite a lot of this. This is just a part of your collection. You have quite a lot of it.
Not that many, but yeah. Yeah.
So you plan to just keep adding to the collection? Is that your plan?
I'm a bit more selective now because I'm concerned about space.
Yeah.
Because space is quite an issue. So I'll probably look at much smaller because these are 1 to 6.
Okay, in scale.
In scale, and they take up so much space, right?
Yeah.
So I'll probably go with something smaller, like these little buddies here.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten commented on your habits to keep on buying these kind of toys from your wife or someone who you keep buying too many toys? Why does it keep adding?
Of course. Tell me about it. I think a hobby like this, right? It's not. I don't expect people will easily understand.
Yeah, of course.
It's like the same thing. Like if you see someone collecting, I don't know, what do you call that? The Hot Wheels, for example, right? So of course there are times when I've gotten a bit overboard that I keep. There's a new one. Let's buy that one. Let's buy that one. So from time to time, it's good to have friends or your partner to remind you that, hey, that's not that nice. So I do listen. Yeah, but it's not going to stop me.
Yep. Oh gosh, feels bad for your wife. But anyway, you said just now that you have had friends from different countries even to help you get these kind of toys. So now that after you retire, I'm sure that you're going to leave the house less. You're going to meet less people because of how there's more of a work type thing that you have to go on or community type thing that you have to meet people. Would you say that these toys is your ticket to keep on meeting people, keep on having a sense of community, even after you've retired?
Well, the answer is supposed to be yes, but I have been very private about this actually. So I don't actually join community groups, not even on Facebook. There are actually a lot of groups on social media, right? But I don't do that. But the great thing about it is that when, for example, last year when I traveled for work to Dallas in the US, right, I met a lot of new colleagues, new friends, right? And surprisingly, 2 of them, and then the company was not that big. It was like a 20 people company. There were 2 people that I met who were so into this kind of thing.
Okay.
And it is actually a very good bridge to tune into the same frequency.
Yep.
We just connect straight away. We started talking about, hey, which Iron Man do you have, which Batman? I said, oh, do you have this problem with the Batman? Did the color fade? And people around me who did not understand, they were just looking at us. Well, what are they talking about? I know like one or two people, one or two friends who are doing something similar, but not many. Most are actually more into cars.
Okay.
I don't know why, but yeah. But hopefully it's a ticket for me to meet more people who have the same interest, and then we can tell stories about how we got our first piece the first time.
Yeah. Do you reckon for a lot of the other peoples that has different hobbies from you, for example, these kind of toys, is collecting a good thing to do? Is collecting a good hobby to have, especially now that you have less things to do, maybe after you've retired?
Collecting is very personal.
Yeah.
It's very close to your heart, right? I mean, one person could be collecting, for example, like when you travel around the world, the most common thing they bring back is what, like fridge packets or one of those shot glasses, right?
Yes.
It's more like a memento, right, for them. For me, it's because I enjoy the design, I enjoy the object, the detail, but it also, like you said, it actually connects me to the past, right? How did I acquire this? So I don't think there's a good collection or a bad collection as such, because collecting is about what gives you that shiver, when you buy it, right? But if you just buy everything, I don't think that's collecting.
You lose the meaning, yeah?
Yeah, because it just becomes a commodity item, right? So that's why I started doing this since the early 2000s, right?
Yep.
And maybe the past 10 years, I've started to become a bit more selective, to put a lot more meaning to the exercise. Yeah.
It is very interesting, and I feel like it holds a lot of meaning, and I think it's a very good thing to do what you like and really keep memories in a unique way, because a lot of people could keep memories in a form of a book. You could keep memories in forms of pictures, but I think having memories in the forms of items such as this, an indirect memory, maybe of the times you bought it or the situation you were in when you bought it, I think it is very interesting, and it is very important, I think, too, in terms of knowing yourself, I guess, or keeping memories of who you were, who you are, how you've learned, how you've grown, I guess. So I think it is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about this is that if you look at the collectibles, the manufacturer, right, they actually release designs which are famous back in the 1980s.
Yep.
Not design of, let's say, I don't know, name one anime which is popular now. What's that one? The Jujutsu Kaisen, for example, right? Okay, there are action figures of that character, right? But they're also issuing the likes of the Dragon Ball, even back to the 80s when it comes to the God Sigma, the Voltus, right? Why? Because people of my age were the ones who experienced it back then, and generally people of my age, we are able to put aside already, because we've worked our entire life, we can put aside some money to start collecting something like this. Of course, it doesn't have to be this. Some people, maybe they collect, I don't know. What else do people collect? Maybe they collect, cars, trains, small
trinkets,
small figurines, those, many things. So this is just one example that I'm happy to continue. And every piece tells a story.
That's great. Every piece tells a story.
So when someone comes to me and say, tell me what happened, or what do you remember when you purchased this item or that item, I could actually go back and remember the good days about, this is what happened when I got this, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
That's a good quote, though. Every piece holds a memory.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing with these kind of things. Now that we've heard the stories of someone who collects these kind of toys, or action figures, or memorabilias, or collectibles, it holds memories. These kind of hobbies, these kind of collections hold memories in every piece that they own. It shows a story of who they were and who they are now, from the times that they've bought it or the times that they have relived from these hobbies. So, in terms of retirement, me personally, I'm really far from that, just getting into that career life. But I feel like it is very important for people to have memories attached to something that they care about, something that they can remember who they were and what they are doing in that time of their life. So I believe that that is a very important thing to have and a very important thing to have a hobby of your own. But I guess with that, thank you for this interview today.
Thank you for having me.
And I guess that's all that we have for today. Thank you all for watching. And
if you're into these kind of things as well, yell out, just leave a comment. And we can exchange information about what you have and what I have, and then we can exchange stories as well. I think that's what the community is all about. Great.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.
Ba 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 ba